hear me, you can say a good morning on the chat. Karibuni sana. Karibuni sana. It's a pleasure to see all of you here. You can tag somebody and tell them that we are on. Thank you. Thank you. You can see the good mornings. And my co-host, you can share the link on the chat. This is a free webinar. You can come in and learn something new today. For the tax trends, we always talk about what is trending when it comes to tax and what is KRA doing, what is the new items that KRA is doing. So I have a plenty of discussions today. It's an hour of talking. So karibuni sana, sana, sana. Karibuni sana, 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 sana. As we always say, this is a free webinar. So if this is your first time, I always welcome first timers. If this is your first time to come to be part of our webinars, kindly say yes. And also, I love to see where you're watching the webinar from, so you can give me your location. So I've asked 2 questions, location, and if it's your first time, you just say yes, so that I can recognize you and welcome you. I'm doing that in a minute so that we can proceed. You can also share with me your location. I see Lorna saying yes. So Lorna, we've been doing this webinar since 2020 during COVID. Previously, we were doing physical tax training. I started doing physical tax trainings in the year 2018. So I welcome you. I just wonder where you have been all that time. But I take this opportunity to welcome you to be part of us, part of the group. You're going to really learn a lot, and you're going to really amplify what you understand about tax. So we do 3 trainings. We do the one that I'm doing today, Tax Trends. Next week on Friday, we do a sector-based. We shall be talking about education sector. So if you're in that space of education, it will be a very good webinar for you. And then the other Friday, we'll be talking about tax audit. So we cover three Fridays in a month where we talk about tax. And I also talk about bookkeeping. I talk about audit, because I've also realized that most of the tax mistakes we make because we don't know how to do the bookkeeping properly. So there's a time I'll talk about bookkeeping in relation to tax. So you can see yes, Brian, Esther, Isaac, karibuni, Mudhoni, karibuni sana, sana, sana. You can follow us on the RWK Africa. Kindly follow us on our social medias. You can also check out for me, Dr. Regina Kengori, CPAK. Just be there. You'll be seeing this and you can come in and learn. So karibuni, and also invite a friend. So I can see Trokana Bungoma, the one from Fameru. Karibuni sana Malindi, Voi, karibuni Homa Bay, karibuni sana, and feel welcome. So let's go to our webinar. Today we are talking about tax trends. You can ask your question on the chat. Ask your question on the chat, and when you ask the question, I'll be here to answer the question. So I'll be here to answer your question. Keep asking the question. And before I go to the webinar, what is new that you know? What have you had? I hope we have those alerts. I don't know if you have tax alerts on your phone that tells you what is going on. But anyhow, we have them so that we can be able to explain. So I'll be talking about the simplified pay return. It was rolled out about 2 months ago for trial. Now from July last month, it was mandatory. So I don't know if you interacted with the simplified version. We're going to talk about it. Simplified TOT, turnover tax return filing. We'll talk about it. Simplified excess duty. And I'll talk about emerging issues and the major tax trends affecting businesses and individuals. And by the way, when I come to the training today, when we were looking at what is KRA doing, what is the tax system going on, I've mentioned here, and I guess I've been mentioning here, there's a lot of data enhancement, data integration, data enhancement, just making sure that the systems operate very, very well. So that is something that KRA is has been doing a lot. And I want you to be aware for all these systems. Of course, some are called simplified, the way we are saying there, to simplify our work, but also they are going to push on compliance. So I also did not mention there's a EGMS for customs. ICMS system is also getting very enhanced. I'll talk about it at the tail end. So there's a lot of enhancement of system, e-teams, iTax, so many. So it is very important for you to understand. And this system are getting enhanced so that you file very well, but also for compliance reasons, that KRA can be able to understand the businesses that we are doing, understand how, and of course, push collections, push them to get more collections. So tax systems are rapidly evolving due to globalization, technology, and changing economic priorities. So why does it matter? Well, KRA is using technology like iTax, e-teams, data matching to monitor businesses more closely. So increase global cooperation on tax transparency, shift towards data-driven tax administration. I've talked about that. KRA is doing data-driven audits. So the audit is data-driven. What do we mean? This is not the time they'll just come to your company unknowingly. Before that letter is sent, there's a lot of data that already exists in their system. So there's data that you've been filing. You yourself, you've been doing self-assessment through iTax, through e-teams. Then there's data from your customers, there's data from your suppliers. If you're withholding agents, there are data from withholding agents. If you're doing imports or export, there's data from IGMS. If you're a landlord, there's data from KPLC, from water. If you're doing government jobs, there's data from it. There are so many data. Everywhere you go, there's a system that is being used for operations. So all these systems come together so that KRA can be able to check data in different systems. So that is the system integration. So by the time you're being audited, they know a lot of your information. So they just come in to counter check the information they are having with the information that you might be having. The only place that we see that they are not yet there is a place where and this was in the Finance Act, the proposed Finance Bill 2025, where they had proposed that they want to see financial data. This was data from M-Pesa, the tills, the banks, which was rejected. But at the moment, KRA can be able to view your bankings, especially during audit. They request you for that bank statement, they request for that. And if you don't provide, they can request the banks to provide. So there's that room for them to be able to view your banking at the point of audit. The other one was they could be able to view possibly on a daily basis. We are not yet there. But at the moment during audit, you're supposed to provide your bankings because they need to see, they want to see the data. They want to see your sales if you're doing the declarations, proper declarations. So if you have a question, you can talk to me on the chat. And this time round, from now, July, being August, there's a lot of audit that is going on. I don't know if your company has been sent an email for audit. I'll talk about that. And last month we trained on KRA tax audits processes and everything. And even this month we'll continue with the discussion because this period is a period that most of our companies are being audited. And we said before that the Finance Act 2025 insisted that they are going to do a lot of compliance. So if your company is going to receive that letter for compliance check, take it positively. I've seen people receive the letter and they're like, why, what happened? No, it's a normal process. And I'll show you what you're supposed to do. So let's talk about the new payee filing system. And I don't know how many interacted with it, especially when we were filing for July. Leonie 11th. Yes, no. Yes. So I'm very sure that you interacted when you're filing for the July, for the July. So today is 8th. So we have tomorrow. So on the chat, tell me if you've been able to use the system. So how does it look like? I will show you in a minute. And I'll explain what is the difference. So it is an Excel, as at 1st July 2025, KRA introduced a simplified pay return process that offers user-friendly filing channels, including Excel-based return template. So it's an offline Excel that employers can download and fill, especially the ones that have a lot of data. Mobile application, you can do it on the mobile phone. API integration that enables seamless data transfer from payroll or ERP system. So if you have a payroll system, you can integrate to it seamlessly without a lot of issues. So for the ones that have a payroll system, you can integrate it to the system very well. There's also a lot of system integration. The new system is integrated with key government platform to automate deductions and payment from multiple statutory contributions. So this is what we were talking about. There's a lot of enhancement, system integration from different systems coming to this one system. So if Miss is there, Central Bank is there, government human resource information systems are there, just to make sure that that information that you're keying in, it is also recorded in other systems. This allows employers to automatically remit pay, the affordable housing levy, and NITA levy, significantly reducing manual effort. So how does it look like? I'll give you a step-by-step process. And I asked the question, have you interacted with it? So you can tell me a yes, and what is your feel? So you download, the employer can access the simplified Excel pay return template and sample CSV files, fill in, validate, and submit. I want to show you. So the piloting phase was in May, June. I don't know how many of us were able to do that, but mandatory rollout from 1st July. So this month, this is what we are using for July return. So this is how it looks like. So you can go to iTax and simply and ask search, just a simple search, simplified pay return, and you're going to see it, and then you're going to download it. So after downloading, this is how it looks like. It doesn't have a lot of Excel. The other one was very huge with so many things. So this one has README, errors, basic information, employee, tax due. It's very Very simply, the other ones, if you don't know how to do pay, when you see the multiple sheets, the Excel sheets, sometimes you get confused, but this one doesn't have a lot of those sheets. So it's version 30. So some of us who I hope you can see the version 30. So some of us who were doing tax during the manual system like me in 2020, in 2014 when I started, we have seen all the versions. Okay, so this is under the B, you have the item. So this is how it looks like. You fill in PIN of the pay, name of the employee. You go filling in the details. And if you don't have some of these details, for instance, you don't have some of these benefits, you just jump and you fill in what is required. And then after filing, this is actually the main place. After filing this space, you just come to the payment section. So this is going to calculate for you the tax due, and you're going to input the housing levy contribution, NITA contribution. They are there, you just fill in. It is as simple as that, and then you validate. Simple and doable. So before I go to the TOT, possibly I can see, apology, I can see a bit of your comment. So, withholding tax, okay. So I see people say I have used it. There are people who are saying I'm not audible. Kindly tell me. I've really been talking, so kindly tell me. I have used it this July. Thank you, Phoebe. Thank you, Lillian. I see people who used it. Yes, you're audible. Thank you. So it is very simplified. So even if you don't have a lot of, even if you're an entrepreneur and you don't have the accounting portion, you can really do it. What is the risk of engaging consultant for a period of year one? Okay, I'll answer that. The new KRA data for secondary employees who have been deducted withholding. I think that one I have to answer. Wow, Purity is saying the last page actually autofills. You just confirm the total NITA and affordable housing levy. Wow. So I have used it. It's very simple. So I can see a lot of people saying it is extremely simplified. So there's Elijah who is saying the new KRA pay filing system. How do you cater for secondary employees who are being deducted withholding tax? So these secondary employees, they are not done pay as you earn. You're doing withholding tax for them. I'd love to hear more of that. I'd love to hear more of that so that I can be able to understand. Are you doing both? Are you doing one? And who is a secondary employee? I believe they're employed somewhere else and also employed in your organization as employees. So you can share more. Okay, I see withholding questions. I'll answer them. Just keep them there. let's go back to TOT. I'm happy to see some of you have engaged. So for the people that have not filed, today is 8th. And I've always advocated, don't file on the last day. You know your employees, you know you have a payroll, you generated it by that year, so you have all the information. Don't push it to tomorrow, because you never know. Sometimes we do those things in a rush, and sometimes you create issues that are not supposed to be there. And remember, I've always said, when you do a mistake on the system, this system is a self-assessment. You sit down, you do it yourself when you're sober and you didn't have any influence. So when you make a mistake, to correct that mistake, it takes a lot of time, especially if you put, like now, somebody shared, they were supposed to do sales and exempt. Somehow, I don't know what happened. They said that those sales are VAT, and it created amount to pay 1.6. That, even if you do an amendment, because that amendment will not be approved. That's a process. That's an audit process that you have opened out of nowhere. Now, KRA want to see all your banking. They want to see your e-teams. So some of these mistakes are very gross. So do it when you're sober and do it at the right time. So let's talk about the simplified web-based turnover tax, TOT. So the simplified version, similar to what we've talked about, pay, is just being introduced to make sure that it is a bit better. So the TOT taxpayer can file their returns using, they can even do the USSD code, the *572 hash. So that one is, you don't have to, you have internet to use it. And the reason why TOT is even being pushed to a USSD code, because you start paying the turnover tax at 1 million turnover per year. So it was geared to make sure that the people who are below the 5 million threshold of VAT can be able to file the turnover tax. So most of the time you find that these people are people who don't have a laptop, who are not able to go to a cyber and do some of these things. So they can actually be able to do it on their phone. So it is also being simplified. So this is how it looks like. So this is the step by step. You log in and then you go down. I hope you can see where it's written turnover tax, and you download it. So the turnover TOT simplified form, and then you put the basic information. You populate the return. Actually, this is how it looks like. So the taxpayer PIN is there, the return period. These ones you just click and you choose the taxpayer. When you key in the PIN number, even your name will come in. So it is simple. And then you just put the amount for the month, your sales for that month. Simple, just sales for the month. So for this month, we said the sales are 100,000. And the turnover tax rate automatically is there. So if you can see here, this one is there, 1.5%. It is automatically there, so it will just generate it. When you do the sales, it will just generate the rest. And then you just say submit. So are you sure? And then you submit, as simple as that. So just downloading it, putting your details, putting your sales detail, the month, and just saying submit, as simple as that. Why is turnover tax at 1.5%? Remember, we mentioned here last year that at the beginning of 2024, it was stated that if you're doing turnover tax at 1.5%, you're also supposed to do affordable housing levy at still 1.5%. So the total should be 3%. So any person who is doing turnover tax, they're also supposed to do affordable housing levy. These are companies. So these are small companies, let me say that, who are doing turnover tax. So if you're doing turnover tax, or you have somebody who is doing turnover tax, remind them to also do the affordable housing levy. And because it was introduced last year, I pre-assume that this year they are going to start doing those assessments. So if the whole year you've been doing turnover tax without doing the affordable housing levy, they are going to send you that letter. And it is simple. They will just calculate the turnover for the period, all the periods, and then they do 1.5%, and then you pay. So that is very important to just put at the back of your mind. So I don't know how many of us do TOT. You can share on the chat also if you do TOT, and if you do TOT and affordable housing levy. So why are other companies not excluded from doing affordable housing levy? Why? Because these other companies, they have employees. Most of the time you find somebody who is doing TOT, they don't even have pay as you earn. The other company, they will have pay as you earn, they will have employees. So they'll do employees 1.5 and the employer does 1.5%. Also, remember also, if you're doing the monthly rental income tax, MRI, for residential property, which is at 7.5%, you're also supposed to do 1.5% of affordable housing levy. So for somebody who has been doing MRI at 7.5%, they were also supposed to do the 1.5 affordable housing levy, and those audits will start coming. So it's very good to just prepare. So let's go to the step-by-step process of filing the simplified excise duty return on services. So it has also been simplified. And we say that the simplification is to enhance compliance, enhance collection. So you go, you log in, then where we said return, you're going to see the excise, and then it's the service only. And then you put in your taxpayer's PIN, everything else is going to auto-populate. This section is going to just auto-populate the moment you log in. And then the return period is there. And then you're going to put the money there, which is payable. And then it's going to you're going to state the excise duty, which is payable, and then you're going to submit. As simple as that. So I think it's about 3 or 4 processes, and then you're done. Actually, section C, 3 of them. Okay, so that is for excise. So let's also talk about the new iTax login option. I hope you've seen the option also. You can be able to log in with your national ID. So as early as August this month, KRA introduced an option for individual taxpayers to access iTax portal using their national ID. So how do you do it? How do you use ID? You navigate the iTax portal, choose the login with ID. And why are they now accepting the IDs? Because most of us, if you ask us our ID, we don't need to have to read. We have it in our head. So it is very simple for you to actually be able to be more compliant with your ID. And you're going to follow the on-screen authentication prompts. So it's going to ask you a few questions, and then you're also going to get a password, and you can use it. You can use your ID and a password to just get in through iTax and do your returns, do whatever you want as an individual. So this is for individuals, it's not for companies. So just simplifying the processes. Some of us, if you ask our PIN, we have to sit down and actually check where the number is or where the certificate is. So before I go to the next one, let me just see your chart. Have you been able to log into KRA with your ID? What about filing? Okay. Can you register VAT and TOT at the same time? So if you do TOT, you're not supposed to do corporation tax. TOT, it is a tax on your sales, on your turnovers, and it is a final tax. So what you are exempted from is TOT, is corporation tax, sorry. But you can register with VAT also. You can do VAT and TOT. But because it's a sales tax, you're doing your turnovers on a monthly basis. I don't see it being working together, because for VAT, you'll be showing your sales and showing your purchases at the same time, and then you do the 16%. You find if you're going to opt, instead of doing corporation tax, you do TOT, together with VAT, it's going to be extremely expensive. It's going to be extremely expensive. So that's why we tie VAT and corporation tax together. So is affordable housing levy applicable for sole proprietor where only obligation is income tax? So when you're doing the income tax at the end of the year, we don't see where they push for affordable housing for sole businesses, not unless you have employees. When you have employees, you do pay as you earn and you do the rest. I've answered Daisy. So for businesses who are doing TOT, they are not supposed to do the corporation tax. TOT is a final tax. So Angela, is affordable mandatory for when a company files income tax? It is mandatory when you have employees. So the moment you introduce pay as you earn, you have to do everything else. So under the pay as you earn, you have the affordable housing levy and you have NITA, the three. So pay, affordable, and NITA, as you show how I demonstrated. Then remember, for employees also there's NSSF, which is filed on a separate website, and then we also have SHA. So for employees we have the five. They have the 5 levies. What happens for guys who have in turnover and want to move to TOT? You can go, if your PIN is registered for corporation tax, you can apply for TOT. So I see my co-host is also answering a bit of your questions. So Kari, continue asking the question. How do you do affordable housing on iTax when doing TOT? I guess we shall do e-Teams next month. No, Teams, iTax, understanding iTax, where we can do a bit of these demos. These are some of the demos that we have done before. But iTax is extremely user-friendly. So if you go in, you still get to navigate very easily. Also, my co-host, you can put a registration link. I can see some people asking for notes. So if you want to be shared these notes we are going to share with you, there's a link on the chat that you just register your email there. Immediately after this, we are going to share the notes with you. Also, if you have a personalized questions, my co-host also, you can do a calendar booking. You can book a consultation with us, 30 minutes free of charge. We're going to explain what you would want to understand more. So let's proceed. Let's proceed to our training. Keep asking the question. So also we have the sugar development levy. Remember, there are so many levies in this country. Besides tax, there are levies, and there are changes that keep happening. So sugar development levy came into effect 1st July as part of sugar development levy order, and it imposes 4% levy on domestic sugar and imported sugar. So, there's a levy on sugar. I don't know if you have felt the sugar prices going up. Okay, so there's also an enhancement of another system that is called ICMS system. This is for customs. It's a customs system. It replaced the SIMBA system. This is monitoring both imports and exports both exit and entry of different items in the country. And it's supposed to monitor customs levy, excise, VAT, everything, all taxes, especially if you're bringing an item to the country, if that item should be paid some levies, VAT, if it is excisable goods, it's supposed to monitor all that. Above all, it's supposed to enhance efficiency, improve compliance, and make sure that there's a lot of trading community, because there's a community around the entry of items. If the items are coming from East Africa, for instance, they need to smooth cross-border those goods. So ICMS, and I've also seen in the audits that we are doing, ICMS being used to gather a lot of information to audit companies, especially the ones that are doing imports. So the system is operating very, very well. And also it's part of the system enhancement that we talked about. Did you know that citizens can anonymously report tax evasion via iWhistle platform, earning up to 5% of recovered tax, capped to Kenya shillings 5 million. So you can go to iTax portal, you're going to see iWhistle. and you can do the reporting. It's also a platform. We also have under the voluntary tax disclosure program, there's that program. It was introduced in the year 2021. It still exists. So a business can do a voluntary disclosure of past liabilities and receive full waiver of penalties if done in 1 year. So there was a full penalties, there was the 50% and then 25% in the other years. So this voluntary tax disclosure program is still there. You can also see that. And if you'd also want to take advantage of that, you can talk to us. Who can benefit on this? This is not for people who have arrears on the system, Apana. It's for people who have not been paying taxes and they do a voluntary disclosure. I see this working very well with like landlords who have not been doing something like monthly rental income for many years. Because, by the way, next month I'll talk about the new system for MRI, for residential, for rent collection. So it is also being pushed so that it can net so many landlords in the system, because they said like 20% are compliant, the others are not compliant. So before the system gets to you, you can do the voluntary tax disclosure program, where you disclose your bank statement and say, I've been collecting taxes for the last rent for the last 5 years, and you don't know, and now I'm here, and they do the 10%. There was a time it was 10%, they come to 7.5%. You pay the principal amount without penalties and interest. So that is, you apply for it, you give your document, there was an assessment. That's what a voluntary tax disclosure program looks like. So I also want to, we are almost coming to the end. When we do the tax trends, I always talk about a ruling on tax. I always mention this to show you some of these cases. Remember, and this is something that we've talked about when it comes to tax and tax audits. There's a process for tax dispute, where when you're assessed like 10 million, 50 million, you have rights as a taxpayer to be able to object. So there's an objection process, there's a tribunal, there's a ATR, there's going to the courts, and I always explain the processes and what you should do at every process. So this is KRA versus AA Kenya. They had a case, and some of these cases we study them because they form precedents. So if, for instance, today a client comes in and I see a case fitting what a previous case was determined, I can be able to relate to it and win this case, because there was a win that happened possibly of a similar case. So that is why we look at these cases to just form part of our notes when we are representing a client. So they conducted a verification audit spanning 2020. The issue was AA Kenya had underdeclared income. That was about 20 million and others 27. Let me come to the case. They said that they operated a membership-based club qualifying for exemptions. So it's a membership-based club. So that was it. And they were being charged income tax, of course, and there was also penalties and others because of that. So the tribunal held that the tax tribunal ruled in favor of AA Kenya, overruling KRA demand. So this time, and these cases move in different direction. Sometimes KRA wins, sometimes the client wins. So this was a win for the company. And they said that they accepted that it was operating a membership-based club. So importantly, the tribunal emphasized that the tax exemption must be interpreted strictly. So, and the taxpayer operating with a membership model, especially NGOs, social clubs, association, can point this as precedence when asserting tax exemption status. This is what I always say. If you're operating an NGO, we know, and a social club and a membership club, we know that they are tax exempted. But for you to be on the safe side, you better have a tax exemption certificate. So that is something that I always advocate for, because it is able to solve most of these cases. By the time the company is going to tribunal, they came from the station level when the tax was determined, they had gone to objection, possibly to the ADR, to the tribunal. That process could have been solved by just having a tax exemption certificate. And also understanding the nature of the business. Recently, we also got a client who they do. There is a membership. It's an association of members. They do trainings just to enhance the membership. Those trainings and that nature of an association should be VAT exempt. But they went ahead, they applied for VAT, they are doing e-teams, there are so many things. By the time KRA comes to audit them, you're being charged 50 million of something that you shouldn't even have done in the first place. So sometimes it's very important for you to be able to understand the nature of your business before and get the right advisory before you even start some of those transactions. And yes. So there are ongoing tax audits. So from July, this is the audits that we have seen. And we wanted also to make you aware so that you are aware of that. So there's a return review. I don't know how many of you have received return review. So this is where KRA will write a letter telling you they want to review 2022, 23, 24, your tax returns. So it's a review and they'll give a list of documentation. So that is ongoing at this point. And we mentioned that they are geared on tax compliance. So if you have received that letter, know that nothing is wrong is happening, is a compliance check. We have also seen e-teams review, and this one I really want you to take a note of it. So KRA, since July, they have been checking. Some of you and some of your organization operated e-teams, yet you filed a new return. So you did e-teams last year, 2024. Come June, you filed a new return. So check your email. If you ever did an e-teams and you filed a new return, you're going to find those details there. And KRA is asking you to do the proper filing. And of course, something like that will initiate an audit. They will ask you for bank statement and what, those things. Also for e-teams review, some of you, especially when there was no auto-population, some of you operated e-teams. So at the end of the month, you'll be doing e-teams of like 10 million. When you come to file, you find you don't have correct purchases. So you end up reducing your sales so that you pay a low amount of VAT. So KRA is reviewing those e-teams, and it is telling you, they are telling you that the sales that you filed for year 2024 is 50 million, yet your e-teams record shows 70 million. So e-teams review is ongoing. And this is something that is going to be happening. Remember, I also mentioned that eTeams has a stock management system. And I really thought we have not seen that for now, but I know that is also where we are headed, where some of you buy purchases, a lot of purchases. Actually, all your purchases are eTeams compliant, but your sales are not eTeams compliant. So you get all your purchases, or your sales 50% are not eTeams compliant. So at the end of the month, you're either on a credit or you pay a very small amount on your VAT. Now, the stock management system is showing all these purchases that you're buying. For instance, they'll just pick one item that you sell a lot. For instance, I mentioned if you're hardware, you sell a lot of cement, they'll pick that. And they'll see the whole of 2024, you bought cement worth 5,000 bags. But when you came to sell, you sold 2,000 bags. So why is the 3,000 bags? Either you have it in stock or you did not do eTeams on your sales. So eTeams is a game changer when it comes to tax compliance. And when you're doing it, you have to be very, very sober and understand the outcome of it, because that is where we are headed on VAT, especially on VAT compliance. Then we have VAT special table. I know we've always talked about special table, and this is something that is happening so often. So if you do VAT irregularities, that's what they tell us. Either you're not filing, especially if you're not filing automatically, you're not filing, you're on a credit, and you have invalid invoices. There are so many, or KRA keep calling you for an audit or for a meeting and you're not showing up. They'll just put you on special table. And special table means when you go to file your eTeams, your VAT return, you can't file it. And if you can't file that, you find your eTeams, you cannot, it's deactivated. So if you're selling with it, you'll be able to key in the data, but when you give somebody, when they go to auto-populate that information, they will not find it on the system. So you end up losing your sales, losing your purchases. It's a crazy state of business. So VAT special, and the moment you're put there, it ignites an audit. So you'll be requested for so many documents, and by the way, it has a very long process for you to be reactivated again. So make sure that you're also doing your VAT very well so that you don't get to that place. We have VAT withholding. So also we have seen this where KRA says, these are all your purchases for the whole year. Your purchases for the whole year is 30 million. So 30 million, 2% is this. But when we look at your VAT withholding, you did this. So where is this difference? Of course, VAT withholding we do at the point of payment. So you can cite that some of these people, you have not paid them. But of course, it will show. It will also show on your creditors. They will look at that and see how many are your creditors, so they will know that you did not do withholding for all your purchases. So that is ongoing. Then custom audit, I've talked about that, especially for importers. I've seen them very vigilant on custom audits. So at the tail end, what is my recommendation? I have a recommendation. Understand KRA audit process. I've mentioned that this is a time for audit. Understand the audit process. We'll be continuing with the discussion for audit on 22nd. So not the coming Friday, the other Friday. Just come and learn what is the process, what are the tax triggers, what happens, everything. It's a very wonderful discussion. Keep your books well. By the way, the only way to win a tax audit is bookkeeping, is evidence, is documentation, and that's where we lose most of the time. So because there's a lot of compliance check, just have a system that is working, an accounting system that is working. Your manual records are kept very well. As in the office, your books are organized. And by the way, we have an accounting software. It is called my Accurate Book software. After I finish, I'm going to give somebody 10 minutes. So I request 10 minutes for you to be able to interact with it and see how it is going to help you in bookkeeping. Then do a tax health check. You don't have to get that letter from KRA. You can talk to us. We can help you do a tax health check. And in this tax health check, we're going to look at 2 years, past 2 years, how you've done your taxes, review if there are issues, and also how you can answer those issues. And if you have a case, we are going to also show you how to maneuver. So a tax health check is very, very important. Operate your e-teams properly. I mentioned that. E-teams is the next compliance check. Is where KRA will be sourcing for information to be able to audit you and to put tax demands. So operate it properly. No credit notes. By the way, if you do 3-4 credit notes, you go to special table. Or the way you work it, then you find that it's not transmitting, then you create a credit note, then you issue another one. My friend, if you do that for 3-4 days, you find that they are saying that you have VAT irregularity. So understand how the machine operates. And if you have a machine that is not working properly, you can be able to buy another one or enhance it. Understand the new filing systems. I've mentioned them. Understand all the filing systems. They are simplified, very well to understand. And finally, engage a tax professional. And that's why we are here. We are the best when it comes to tax litigation, whether you received that letter at the station level, whether you want to do an objection. We go to the tribunal, to the ADR, to the courts. We can take you through the entire process and make sure that you get very minimal or zero tax demands. Yes, so that was the end. Let me hear your question. Let me hear your question. Who is supposed to do 2% withholding? Withholding agents. So you have to be an appointed withholding agent. Someone has no e-teams but has pay bill. Recently, he got a message from KRA that KRA record shows he has been invoicing various customers but haven't disclosed. Is e-teams fixed to, is pay bill fixed to e-teams? No. No. So let him check. But I also, before we filed our returns, that is in June, KRA issued so many SMSs saying people had arrears. Some were true, some were not true. So some of these SMSs, sometimes I find them erroneous. Our pharmacy is supposed to have VAT obligation, yes. Every business in Kenya should be e-teams compliant. E-teams compliant. So if the medication is exempt, you do under exempt. Mm-hmm. So John is asking, how do you file for a hospital? Filing VAT for hospital, let me see it properly, apologies. And the services to clients. Okay, so the medical services are exempted. So if you're having an insurance, if somebody comes to the hospital and they are using insurance companies insist on ITIMs. So you have to give them ITIMs invoices for them to be able to pay you. So you can register for ITIMs and are exempt and do that. So that is important. So special table is a process. So there are documents required which you have to give, and it is like a normal compliance check. Why does KRA never use arbitration before going to court? They do at ADR, alternative dispute resolution, so they do that. And if you come to when I'm training about the dispute processes, I always talk about what wins at what particular point. So when you go to objection, how do you win? When you go to tribunal, because remember, this is same case. It's the same case, same details, same evidence, but you're just meeting different people. So at this level, how do you win? Which details are you supposed to provide for you to win? Then when you go to this one, because there are others who concentrate on the law, others who can look at the facts of the case, the precedents of similar cases. So when I talk about tax dispute, I always talk about those nitty-gritties to just help you be able to solve a case. ITIMS also available for sole proprietor, yes. ITIMS is available for all people, and we have different versions of ITIMS. We have the USSD code. We have one you download from KRA portal. And right now the registration is automatic. You don't need to go to KRA. You can buy a machine. It's under eCitizen. You can do it under iTax portal. You can go to a cyber. So there are so many areas you can be able to do the ITIMs. So continue asking your question. I want to go back to my notes and talk about us. So for us who say this is the first time to see us, we are RWK Africa. You can be able to see the organization online. You can like us and follow us and be able to be seeing what we are doing and learning. Come and learn. That is the best way that you can be able to make a good decision. So we'll be talking about taxation in the education sector. That is coming Friday. We will also be hosting a CEO breakfast meeting, and we'll be talking about taxation in the manufacturing sector. So that will be manufacturing sector. That will be on 21st August. So it will be Nairobi. You can, if you are a manufacturer, you can be able to come. It's a physical training. We're going to have more interactions. On 22nd, as I had mentioned, I'll be talking about top findings in KRA audits. I'll be talking about KRA audits. It's an ongoing discussion because I mentioned this is the audit season, tax audit season, for you to be able to understand the processes and everything. We also have a CSR. You can be able to see our CSR online, Scale Up Mentorship Program, and be able to see what we do under CSR. We have an audit and bookkeeping masterclass. So we are the best when it comes to these trainings. We've been doing them online training, but this time round, some people keep calling and say, don't you have a physical one? I like physical, not online. So we'll be doing both physical and online. So if you choose physical, you come for the 3 days. Then if you choose the online, we have the online. So the online, we are giving it as a discount, 15,000, and the physical at 35,000. You also get a certificate that you can be able to get your CPD hours. So if you'd love to do the audit and bookkeeping masterclass, my co-host, you can share the link on the chat and we can be able to give you that discount. So you can register there and we'll be able to give you the discount. It's quite resourceful. The good side with us is we have the practical part of it, and it is going to enhance how you operate. So we do a lot of tax audits, tax bookkeeping, and for this one, because we are doing tax, if you have a tax case, would love to help you go through the process. I'll be there with you. And I've always said that most of these tax issues require a tax expert. And because you came, I talked about that doing a tax health check. So we have a special offer for 20,000 where we do tax compliance check. We do past years, 2 years. We do tax planning for you. And because you came for this one, and if you'd want a tax compliance check, on the chat, there's a link to fill in. We're going to give it at 10,000 just for us getting some fuel when we are coming to your organization. And we're going to advise you on how you can put your books together. Tax is one of the areas that if you get it wrong, it can collapse your business easily. So we have the My Accurate books, and I want my colleague to come in and talk about, so I request 10 minutes, just 10 minutes to be able to talk about My Accurate book software. The reason why we went to that extent of developing a software is we felt that, as I mentioned, a tax class, we'll be having taxation masterclass, I guess, in September, not September, October or November. We're going to share, we'll keep sharing. So we have a taxation masterclass this year after the bookkeeping one. Yes, John, I have facilitated arbitration on behalf of SACCOS. So John, you can talk to me. You can pick our number and talk to me. I'll be able to understand your case and be able to help you out. So for these notes, there was a link on the chat for you to fill in, and we're going to share them. We're going to share them immediately. You're going to share them immediately so that you can interact and understand more. So we realized that most organizations were getting it wrong when it comes to bookkeeping. And when we asked, why don't you maintain records? They always cited complexity of accounting software. And we felt we had, there was a problem in the market, and we have developed My Accurate Books software. So John, if you can hear me, you can take over. Kindly give him 10 minutes only to do this. And then I want to say thank you so much. See you on coming Friday and the other Friday. Interact with us. You can call us. We can, if you have any issue, we'll be ready to answer you. You don't, and to help you out. So asanteni sana. Have a lovely Friday. God bless you. God bless the labor of your hands. John, we are waiting for you. Co-host, you can reshare the link. The link for registration of notes. So you can get my accurate books on you can get my accurate books on the Play Store.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Daktari. Sorry, everyone. There was an issue on my end, but now I think we are good to roll. And I will leverage on the next 10 minutes to share a very brief, concise, and insightful presentation on an innovation that would be of great help to you as an accountant, as an entrepreneur, or basically a system that is supposed to take care of your bookkeeping needs. And even before we jump into the content of the next 10 minutes, I want to say one statement, and I want you to respond in the chat box. So Steve Jobs once said that innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower. So in the chat box, I want to see between a leader and a follower, whom do you think you are between the two? We do it very fast in the chat box. I'll be reacting to your responses. So from where you sit, do you think insofar as matters of innovation, you're a leader or you are a follower? Wow. I love what I'm seeing. So over here, 100% of us, the ones that have responded, says that they are leaders. And sometimes as entrepreneurs, as accountants, as bookkeepers, we are met with challenges. And in all these challenges, there's always a way to do things better. And with my accurate books, the system's intention is to make sure that we help you find that way to do things better. So in a nutshell, how did, my name is John Gashoka. I'll be taking you through my accurate presentation for the next, at most 10 minutes. And one thing, let me know with a thumbs up if you can see my presentation. Allow me to just share a brief information about the journey that we've come with my accurate books. I know Daktari mentioned that we do have a corporate community involvement, or what everyone calls CSR program, that we call Skill Up Mentorship Program, and BIP. All these programs are meant to empower budding entrepreneurs, people who may lack opportunities to learn skills that they can translate into profitable businesses. And through this program, we realized that most entrepreneurs barely keep records, or in fact, barely have information about their businesses. And this was detrimental to them even getting opportunity, whether it's a seed funding opportunity for them, or even getting a facility from a financial institution. And even worse, reporting on how their business is doing insofar as KRA is concerned. And out of that, we felt like we were doing half the job, and there was need to go a step further so that we can now do it 100%. And That is how my accurate books came about. I can tell you, from the time that this system was launched sometime in November last year, we've had tremendous growth in numbers. As of today, we have over 1,000 people who have downloaded this system and have implemented it. And the fact that it is a system that is to be paid for, we now have, I think, around almost 800 paid users. And I can tell you within a span of 8 months, there has been a tremendous progress. And this is out of the feedback that we get from people who are already implementing My Accurate books in their business. Now, within the system, there are many features that can help you and can help make your business seamless. Among them is POS, where you are able to generate your PO. If you're running a business or you're in consulting, you're able to produce receipts and give your customers professional receipts, and again, get information on how you're making sales on a daily basis. The other bit is that the system is made in a way that you are able to update details of your customer, in that you can even train how the trends of your customer when it comes to purchases, and in the event that some of the products that you supply them or services you supply them, you do it on credit, you're able to tell how much they owe your business. When it comes to inventory, you're able to, again, update your assets or your products in the system, and you can even tell how your products are moving. You're able to analyze fast-moving products, slow-moving products, and even dead stock. So basically, this gives you insights on making informed decision on what to stock because it is a moving product. When it comes to payment integration, we now have an e-wallet that we are calling My Accurate Pay, where you are able to make payments to your suppliers, you are able to receive payments, and this is within My Accurate Books software. So it is an innovation that has come up out of recommendations from the users that we currently have. And I can tell you the feedback that we are receiving up to this point is a wonderful feedback insofar as usability of the system is concerned. Again, one other bit that was missing and is now in the system is product composition. You find that for those who are in the hospitality industry or those who make products, whether it's lotion, basically even animal feeds formulation, you realize that it is done in different quantities. Under My Accurate Books, now you are able to put product composition so that even as you figure out how much profit you've made out of one product, you can tell based on this feature. In addition, there is multi-access user, in that in the event that you have more than one staff, you're able to delegate roles in the system and give them different rights that they would have access to as an administrator. That way, you are able to have someone running your business, and the fact that the system is web-based, whether you are the shop or not, you're able to follow on how the business is performing. Under the gold package, we have petty cash management and also payroll management, a feature that would be great to a company or an organization that manages petty cash and payroll as well. When it comes to accessibility, as I've mentioned, the system is web-based, and being a web-based system, you can use it from shop as long as you have access to internet. And again, you can use it remotely if in the event that you don't have a PC at your shop, you can use your mobile phone, because we do have an application on Play Store that is My Accurate Books. And the icon in Play Store is the one that you can see in the presentation. When it comes to invoicing and quotations, we've also made sure that your invoice is professional, in that when you print it out, it brings out the professionalism that your business stands for. When it comes to tracking of expenses, there is that feature where you are able to see or update the expenses that you incur as a business, whether it is rent, whether it is a water bill or electricity bill or subscriptions that you might have for your business or any other cost that you incur as a business. So you're able to tell on a daily basis how you're able to track how your expenses are vis-a-vis your income. So this is able to advise on many decisions that you can make as a business person, as a bookkeeper, or as an accountant. When it comes to branch management, we now have a fully fledged branch management system where you can be in a position to run independent branches as an administrator, have them have independent accounts, and being an admin, you're able to see how the different branches are performing. Ladies and gentlemen, we know that in the market, there are many players when it comes to accounting system or to bookkeeping systems. But why My Accurate Books? One, the system simplifies accounting in that for anyone, even without background in accounting, you are able to operate this system by virtue of just being able to use a computer or your Android phone. You can manage My Accurate Books. Therefore, it opens opportunities for staff who may have not gone to further their education in accounting, and they will still run your business professionally. Secondly, the fact that your information is consolidated, you will minimize. In fact, in most cases, you'll get rid of paperwork because the system is made, will simplify that. Therefore, saving you time of playing around with paperwork, and now you have enough time to focus on how you can push your business and expand. That is what we envision under My Accurate Books. Secondly, or thirdly, it improves on your accuracy. And with accuracy, again, you're able to tell how your business is performing. You're able to tell this is money from the business and this is personal money. So there will not be any mix-up when it comes to accuracy of your accounts. And therefore, with all this, you're able to make informed decisions as an entrepreneur, as an accountant, and you're able to advise professionally based on real data. Because it is accountants who say that numbers don't lie. And therefore, the system will help you be confident when you say that the business is either doing good or it is on the wrong trajectory. The system, again, will grow with you. So in the event that you have an issue, we have a dedicated team that is a response to concerns from clients or recommendations. And when you recommend for the clients that we have, whenever they make recommendations, we deliberate and dissect it and see practicability. And in the event that it's a viable recommendation, I can tell you that we are able to put it in play. This will the system will also enhance team collaboration because, again, with distribution of roles, everyone is accountable for what they are doing within the system. And you, as the admin, you are able to tell who did what, because any information that goes out, if it comes from a particular staff, the receipt is able to indicate that this client was served by this staff. If there is an issue emanating from that, you're able to diagnose it with the right person. So with support, when it comes to My Accurate Books, you will not be talking to a chatbot. You will be talking to people who can listen and engage with you to understand you better as a user. And therefore, out of this, we believe that you are able to also have great customer experience, because some of the hurdles, without a system, you can give stuff on credit, you can give services on credit, but without evidence, someone can decide I'm not going to pay. And how can you claim for a payment when you have no trail? With the system, you have a trail of what you've done with a certain customer and how much they paid. If they owe the business, you're able to tell how much. So that reduces conflict. And again, the fact that all your reports can be generated from this system, that makes your work easier. And so with all this, we are able to support you grow your business. The other advantage is that we have optimized, the system is more optimized for mobile or low bandwidth environment. So even if you are in a location where internet is not as good, my accurate books will still operate, because it is not it is not in high heavy intensity or high bandwidth. It is not dependent on that. As long as you have access to internet, however weak, you are able to access services of my accurate books. Again, when it comes to reports, you're able to download them either in Excel or PDF when you need them at the time that you need them. So when it comes to the other benefit of having my accurate books, for those of you who might be having ambitions of going to get seed funding for your businesses, or even going to get facilities to expand your businesses, with all these reports, you are able, and the fact that your information is consolidated, you are able to confidently go and say, this is what I've been doing with my business. I need this much to expand my business. So the system, again, is intuitive. We've minimized on jargons to make sure that, as I've said, it is not a problem to the user. Because again, we believe that we have entrepreneurs from different demographics. Some may have not had an opportunity to learn more about accounts, and still they have businesses to run. With the system, they are able to do that. And most importantly, when all these challenges that any business experiences are taken care of, the system makes sure that you as an entrepreneur, you as an accountant, have peace of mind. And we have many businesses that can use this system as listed. Maybe I can highlight a couple of them. As I said, consulting individuals or consultancies or firms can use this system. And even manufacturers, cottages can use this system. And so does even those who do events, restaurants, lounges or bars, salons, barbershop, car washes. Basically, most businesses are able to use this system. Whether you're in electricals, whether you install cameras for your clients, this system will take care of you. Even for those who vend water points, this system is applicable for such businesses. For those who do sell laptops, or basically any business that is involved in wholesale, retail, consulting, you're able to get my accurate books to serve you better. And we believe that in any business, a shilling is very important. And when it is not tracked, that is a lot of problems insofar as that business is concerned. And with my accurate books, we believe that every shilling should be tracked, because when that shilling is tracked, it is saved. It won't be spent in the wrong way, or it won't be spent to support the business. So finally, we are on different social media platforms. You can get to us, whether it's on Facebook, Instagram, X, LinkedIn, TikTok, or we are on TikTok as well. You can write to us on WhatsApp, that is 0116 333 000, or call us on the same number. And you can also check our website. That is www.myaccuratebooks.com. And whenever you are within Westlands, you can visit our offices. That is Gate 83 Westlands Road in Westlands. This is close to museum. So you can get to us in either of the platforms. So at this point, I thank you for sparing your time to listen to what I had to say in regard to my accurate books. And as I mentioned, we have my accurate pay within my accurate books. And on a daily basis, between Monday and Fridays, we are open to do virtual demonstration to users. Therefore, my core host is able to share a form where if you need to know more about the system or if you need a demonstration, we are able to do that with you at the earliest time possible. So at this point, I wish to open the floor for questions. Thank you very much. If there are questions, I'm happy to respond. I see we've used 9 minutes, so I have 1 minute for questions, and I'll be happy to respond. So I see there's a question from on security. Now, this is what I have to say in regards to my accurate books and in regards to security. The development team has been able to put up security measures or firewalls to make sure that information of all our users is protected from any form of external penetration. And in the event that that occurs, we are able to get alerts and protect you as a user in the event that there is any attempt. So we can confidently say that the system is well protected to protect the user. And for payments, we have two packages, that is standard package and the gold package. And when it comes to either of the packages, the standard package, you can pay either on a monthly basis, quarterly basis, or even annually. Monthly basis, you are only required to pay 500 shillings. And even before you make that payment, we'll give you a 1 month trial for you to use for a whole month without a payment. Normally we give 14 days, but we've opened it up to 30 days. After that, you will be paying 500 shillings a month. If you opt to do it quarterly, you will pay 1,400 shillings. If you do it for half a year, 6 months, you will pay 2,600 shillings. If you go for a whole year, you will pay 5,500 shillings, which means that we will be giving you a whole month for free, minus the one that you had used prior. When it comes to the gold package, on a monthly basis, you are required to make a payment of 750 shillings. If you do quarterly, you would be paying 2,200 shillings. If you go for semi-annual, you will pay 5,100 shillings. And if you opt for 1 year, you will only pay 9,000. 9,000 means we will have saved you for 3,000? We'll have saved you 3,000. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the time to take advantage of all those offers. And again, as I said, our support is timely. When you need it, we are here to respond. So, Robin, you ask, when it comes to storage of data, do you use cloud storage? Absolutely. So, Robin, if you need an in-person training, what we request is that you facilitate the coming of a technician to your location. That is not a problem. We can do an in-person training. George, you ask whether it is online based. Yes, it is online based. So I have two companies. Can I use it as one? Sylvia, it is possible to do that. With the branches, you can assign one. You can assign one company, one branch. But again, these are conversations that we can escalate. If you are able to, kindly WhatsApp us in that number, and I'll be happy to reach out so that I can get to understand you better. All right. If there is no other question, I wish to say thank you very much for making time. It's been a great honor talking with all of you. And I can't wait to see you take up my